Alright guys, welcome to this quiz preview video lesson, right? Make sure you have paper and pencil out ready to copy everything down, right? So, as we always do, we start off by naming identifying the name of the assignment, and this is called Pay Periods and Pay Rates Quiz Preview, right? So this was part 1 of the quiz preview, right? It's already filled in. And we're going to do part 2 today. So we're going to remember that we're going to round all solutions to the nearest cent. Okay. So number 1, 2, and 3 had to do with pay periods. 4, 5, and 6 is going to have to do with pay rates. So let's take a look. Number 4. A new Starbucks is, by the way, this is supposed to be is, not in, opening on the corner of Reseda Boulevard and Victory Street. I'm not sure if you guys knew that. Across the street from McDonald's, across the street from Reseda Park too. A new Starbucks. They are expecting to have more than the average amount of customers the first 2 months of business. So they are offering all employees 47-hour working weeks. So 47-hour working weeks. So they're saying, hey, come work for us. We promise you 47 hours a week for sure. Okay. How much is the average employee that makes $15.75 an hour going to make per week? Okay. So when it comes to hours, we need to do regular hours. Okay, regular hours. And we need to do overtime hours. Right? So in this problem, we're talking about a week. Well, how many regular hours do you work in a week? Right? Well, if you're not sure, come over here and check your notes. Right? 40 hours per week is regular time. Right? So 40 hours are regular hours. 40 hours. That means that how many hours are overtime? Well, what you do is you subtract the number of hours that you're working, which is 47, minus the regular hours, which is 40, and that gives you 7 hours. And this is the overtime hours. So this person worked 40 regular hours and 7 overtime hours. Okay. Next, what we need to do is we need to find regular wage and overtime wage. So we're going to say here regular wage versus OT wage. All right. Separate that. So, how much does this person regularly make an hour? Well, it says employee that makes $15.75 an hour. Okay, so $15.75. So to figure out the overtime, what you do is you take what they regularly make, $15.75, and you multiply by 1.5, 1.5, and that is in the notes as well. Look, overtime rate is your regular rate times 1.5, right? Regular rate times 1.5, right? So what the heck do we get from here? Right? So we go back. We go to our calculator, which is right here. So we say 15.75 times 1.5. That gives us 23.625, but the 5 is going to push the 2 to a 3, so it's going to be $23.63, right? So 23.63 is your overtime wage, right? Rate. Why am I writing rate? Wage. It's, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, never mind. Okay, this is rate, by the way. Rate. Rate. That would have been a mess. Don't do that. Okay, so to find the total pay, okay, find total pay, we're going to multiply regular hours times regular rate plus overtime hours times overtime rate. Look at that. Fortunately for us, we have all four of those pieces of information. Regular hours, 40 regular hours. Regular rate, $15.75. Plus overtime hours, overtime rate. So all we got to do, everyone, is just plug everything in. Okay? Regular hours is 40. So 40 times regular rate is $15.75 plus overtime hours is 7 times overtime rate is $23.63, right? So let's punch in this whole thing into the calculator right here. So I'm gonna clear this up here and I'm gonna put 40 times 15.75. I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna put a parenthesis around this, by the way, guys. So, and here plus parentheses 7 times 23.63 close parentheses. Let me make sure that looks right. Let's see, 40 times 15.75, yeah, plus 7 times 23.63, yeah, 795.41, okay, so we get 795.41, so our solution is, let's see, what is the question? How much is the average employee that makes $15.75 an hour going to make per week? So we say the average pay per week will be $795.41. There you go. Look at that. That is our number 4. Okay. That is our number 4 right there. Right? But the setup for number 4, 5, and 6 is going to be exactly the same, guys. Depending on whether it's a week or whether it's a day. I'll show you one for hours worked per day. Right? So, let us go over here and set up number 5. Number 5 says, Cindy works at Costco, and during the holidays, she works long days, right? Long days. Remember days. On average, Cindy works a minimum of 11-hour shifts. That means every time she goes in to Costco, she'll work for 11 hours straight, right? Per day. How much does she make on average per day if she makes $23.96 per hour? Okay, so let us set up number 5 just like we set up number 4. So we say regular hours OT hours. Right? So in a day, everybody. We're dealing with a day, per day, right? We're going to go here to our notes. 8 hours a day is regular pay. So 8 hours. Well, how many hours total did this person work? 11 minus a regular amount of hours, which is 8. So that gives us 3 hours. So this person worked 8 regular hours and 3 overtime hours. Right? So now let's figure out regular rate and overtime rate. Regular rate and OT rate. Right? How much do they make? How much does this person make an hour? It says $23.96. So $23.96 per hour. Right? And the overtime rate is we take the regular rate, which is $23.96, and we multiply by 1.5, which is the overtime, right? So 23.96 times 1.5. Let's go back here to the calculator. 23.96 times 1.5. 35.94. There you go. So forget the dollar sign here. So overtime, we make $35.94 per hour. And look at that. We have all 4 pieces of information that we need in order to solve this problem, right? So total pay is regular hours times regular rate plus overtime hours times overtime rate. Just like this. So all we got to do is plug everything in. So regular hours is 8. So 8 times regular rate. Well, regular rate is $23.96. $23.96 plus overtime hours is 3. 3 times overtime rate. Overtime rate, $35.94. $35.94. Look at that. So I'm going to type that into the calculator. Okay. So parentheses 8 times 23.96 close parentheses plus open parentheses 3 times $35.94. That gives us $299.5. Okay, $299.5, and I'm going to add a 0 because this is money. Like that. So what is our solution? How much does she make on average per day? Okay. So we're going to say on average, she makes $299.50 per day. Look at that. That is our solution for number 5. See? Same setup. Regular hours, overtime hours. Regular rate, overtime rate. Multiply regular hours times regular rate plus overtime hours times overtime rate. There you go. You get your solution. Right? So, that was number 4 and number 5. One more, kiddos, of the type of problems you're going to see in the quiz, right? One more. Let's take a look. So number 6 says you really want to buy a PS5. So you get a job working at Yogurtland. A brand new PS5 costs $550, right? With taxes. Working at Yogurtland, you make $15 per hour and work on average 9 hours per day. Work on average 9 hours per day. How many working days will you have to work for you to be able to buy yourself that PS5? Okay, let's set it up. Same setup. Okay, regular hours, overtime hours. Okay, so we're talking about per day here. So per day, 8 hours are regular hours. So to figure out the overtime hours you work, you subtract the 9 hours you worked minus the regular hours, which is 9 minus 8 is 1 hour. So 1 hour of overtime. So let us figure out the regular rate and the overtime rate, right? So how much did this person make regularly? Well, they make $15 an hour. So $15 per hour. What is their overtime rate? Well, we take 15 and we divide and we multiply by 1.5. So we're going to take 15 and we're going to multiply times 1.5 times 1.5, 22.5. So we get 22.50, right? Per hour of overtime. Okay? Look at that. So let's figure out our total pay here. How much is this person making? Total pay. So we know total pay is going to be, right, is going to be parentheses regular hours times regular rate plus overtime hours times overtime rate. Right? So let's plug in everything that we know. Regular hours is 8. So it's going to be 8 times regular rate is $15 an hour times 15 plus overtime hours. Overtime hours is 1 times overtime rate is $222.50. Okay, so let's put this whole thing into the calculator. Okay, so parentheses 8 times 15 plus 1 times 22.50, and we get $142.05. So 142.5, and let me add a 0. Ooh, the pencil's low. Okay, so the question said, how many working days will you have to work to be able to buy this PS5? Well, this is how much you make in one day. How much is the PS5? $550. So let's see. So if a PS5 costs $550 and you make $142.50 per day, let's see how many days it's gonna take. Right? So 550 divided by 142.50. 550 divided by 142.50. We get 3.8. Right? 3.8. But we're going to round to the nearest day, which is 4. So that's how many days you have to work at Yogurtland, making this amount of money to be able to afford to buy yourself the PS5. Right? So we're going to say you have to work 4 days. Oh, what the heck was I writing there? 4 days. That is my solution to that. Look at that. That's number 6. Added a little wrinkle, right? And that right here, kiddos, is our full, right, quiz preview. So the quiz is going to look very much like this, right? Going to have questions just like this. So make sure that you rewind to copy everything down that you